listen to samba, bamba, rumba, tumba. Everybody mambo, jambo, bambo, calling a party. Everybody move it, move it, move it, move it, move it now. Everybody running and coming, it's time to party. Everybody listen to samba, bamba, rumba, tumba, tumba. Everybody doing, shaking, moving, becoming naughty. Everybody going, 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 go. Everybody time to move on in life and just say party. ரெண்டும் தன்னாலே பார்த்தா சுத்துதே உண்டன் பின்னாலே திட்டம் போட்டு பார்த்து திமுறா பேசி என்ன நீ வளர்ச்ச கொண்ட புசி சிரிப்பு பின்னோய் சீதா முதுகு தெக்கு மரம் முழுசா பார்த்தா ஜோரம் தான் Everybody listen to samba, bamba, rumba, tumba, tumba. Everybody mambo, jambo, bambo, calling the party. Everybody going, 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 go. Everybody time to move on in life and just say party.
Wow, let's give Gianna Muravan a round of applause. Boys and girls, I was going to try some of those moves, but then I might have to have a hip replacement. So I've decided I will not. Okay, I know, boys and girls, it is getting windy, but we're going to try as fast as we can to get our program done. Now, a man who knows no introduction, who's always in the block, who is always busy walking around checking on you, who's in charge of the school, who makes sure that the teachers are working just as hard, could be none other than our very own superhero. Who am I talking about, boys and girls? So you'll think Mr. J. Naidu is a superhero. Okay, so he left his cape at home, but boys and girls, let's put our hands together for none other than our incredible principal, Mr. J. Naidu.
DJ, you can put that other music on. Radha, you can come and start dancing here now. Thank you. Those boys at the back are waiting for you. And those 3 girls right at the back, I must see. Thank you. Our special guest, Mrs. Prashita Ramlakan, members of her family, Mr. Faiz Nabi. Boys and girls, Mr. Nabi of Fayaz was one of our ex-learners at our school. It's so proud to have you amongst our midst. Welcome. And Mrs. Priscilla Naidu, they are from the South African National Charitable Organization. Welcome. Mrs. M. Naika, should we say retired teacher, resigned teacher. The chairman of Kamalini Women's Committee, the lady behind me, Mrs. Bridgelam, members of KWC, members of the management team, members of staff, boys and girls. Today is indeed a very sad day and a happy day as well. Sad in the sense that we have lost a very special lady in our school. The photograph that you see in front of me, that of the late Mrs. S.D. Singh, a legend that was in our school for many years. I think the previous speaker mentioned all the fantastic attributes about Mrs. S.D. Singh. And Mrs. Ramakan, I think if Sharon, Mrs. Singh was here, she would have been the most happiest person to be seated amongst you, to have been receiving this prestigious award. May your soul rest in peace. Boys and girls, happy in the sense that today we celebrate an important milestone in the history of our school. Our school is now 39 years old. Come 1st of January, we will be celebrating our 40th anniversary, 2022. And if I take that number and include another number, 21, which is an important number for many birthdays. Am I right, boys and girls? 21? I am 21. I'm celebrating my 21st birthday this weekend. Boys and girls, the lady that you see seated amongst us, our leading lady that's going to receive the award later on, she had been associated with our school for the past 21 years. Let's give her a round of applause. Boys and girls, if you see the gentleman that is sitting next to his sister, I shall please stand. That's the boy that was a little baby. He's now 21, past the 21. He was a little baby when Mrs. Ramakan started doing voluntary work at our school. She used to bring him in a little pram and push him around the school, doing voluntary work at our school. Boys and girls, I want to read something to you. There's an important saying: service to humanity is service to God. Let the love and light of the kingdom radiate through you until all who look upon you shall be illuminated by its reflection. Be as stars, brilliant, sparkling in the loftiness of their heavenly station. And the author of this is Abdul Baha. This little message that I read to you, boys and girls, is so apt for our leading lady today, Mrs. Prashita Ramlakan. A lady who's so humble, simple. She's got a heart of gold. The things that she has done, not only for us as educators, but for the children of our school, the members of this community, and wider society. I cannot quantify the number of hours and the amount of money that she and her family have contributed in enriching the lives of many, many parents, children and members of the community. In saying that, boys and girls, I also want to applaud the Ramlakan family, especially Mr. Upen Ramlakan. He's not here today, and I'm certain he evaded this function. I know that. Because Mr. Ramlakan is not a gentleman who will want to be in the limelight and who want to be acknowledged for the things that he has done over the years. Mr. Ramlakan, please convey our good wishes and our thanks and appreciation to Mr. Ramlakan. Mrs. Ramlakan was one of the first members of Kamalini Women's Committee. Mrs. Anand Ponan was a lady who started this Women's Committee together with Mrs. N. Raju, Mrs. Gina, Mrs. Lazarus. They commenced Kamalini Primary School Women's Committee many years ago. And their driving vision, it was catering for the underprivileged learners at our school and for the underprivileged organizations and persons out of this community. They did a remarkable job in fundraising and uplifting the community and the fellow members of this area and wider society. Mrs. Ramlakan, we want to thank you once again for that. We would also like to thank you, ma'am, for your close bond and association with members of the staff. I think you touched the lives of almost every single educator we seated here. Be it their birthdays, or be it something that is depressing for themselves or their families, you were there to cheer us up with something to say, this is something from my side, just to cheer you up and to make you feel good. Prash, thank you once again for that. Boys and girls, in society and in today's life, very few people want to do service to others. Many people want to do service where they can get something in return. And people like Prashita Ramlakan should be associated with people like Mother Teresa, who served the world and who served the nation. And in her own way, Mrs. Ramlakan is serving this community and Kamalini with a great degree of admiration. Mrs. Ramlakan, we want to wish you well. We're not going to say goodbye to you. I recall you always say, but when Mr. Naidu, when you go, then I'm going to go. That's not going to be the policy, ma'am. Even if I go, you still have to be associated with Kamalini. On behalf of the members of staff, members of the school governing body, members of the community of Lotus Park and its surrounding, we would like to acknowledge and say thank you for your enormous contribution to our institution. As Beauty's message, Mrs. Vinay's message, and I'm certain Mrs. Brijlal is also going to allude to some of the important things where you made a difference in the lives of each and every one of us. God bless you, God bless your family, and all I can say is, may Lord Krishna bless you and your family with abundance of good health. I'm not going to say wealth because you're always giving. Thank you once again for honoring and for being here amongst all these learners at KPS. Finally, to Mrs. Brizla, to you and your team, thank you for putting together this function, and to every single member of staff who assisted in getting this function through. I'm sure it is quite a huge success thus far. Once again, Prashita, God bless you, and may you have many, many years of good health. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Naidu. Mrs. Via Munsami, If you could just check if there's someone there for me, ma'am, that's going to bring that stuff. I'm not too sure. Okay, boys and girls, I've got something to read. I'm going to do an introduction to the leading lady. Boys and girls, when we look at the supermodels that walk down the aisles and strut their beautiful clothing, we wish we could be part of that. When we look at the beautiful actresses that come on stage and are able to play these different roles, somewhere in our lives we wish one day that we could be part of these beautiful fantasy worlds. But some of the most powerful women are not those that walk on the catwalks, are not those in front of the TV screens. In fact, some of the most influential women are those working behind the scenes to enrich the lives of other people. They truly are the diamonds that are rare and beautiful. Boys and girls, if you want to admire someone, look at your mom, look at an aunt, look at the females around your community that are continuously working to ensure that you, boys and girls, have a better life, live in a better community. Prashita Ramlakan is one of those special women who goes above and beyond all that is expected of her. Her family says that Kamalini Primary is her first family. And that is most true because we have seen all three children in their nappies coming to school, growing up, being part of the Kamalini family, going off, and yet they are still back here again. Prashita Ramlakan is involved in various charities, one of them being Food for Life Project. Boys and girls, this is where ma'am and a team go on a weekly basis and distribute